Ottoman Empire, the British and the French. It became known as the British Mandate of Palestine. Iraq became known as the British Mandate of Mesopotamia. But if we're talking between the First World War and between 1948, this land was known as the British Mandate of Palestine. And so, ultimately, what happened and what is happening today is the indigenous people are being slowly but surely driven from their land. And even the belief or the dream or the fantasy of Israel being the Jewish state is not actually accurate and cannot be accurate. It's not possible. As the brother before mentioned, you have Palestinian members of parliament within Israel. You have nearly 1 million Palestinians who are Israeli citizens. Something called the 48 Arabs, people who refused to leave their homes, as the story goes, in 1948 upon the establishment of Israel, and are given Israeli citizenship. Some of them are MPs within the Israeli parliament. So how can a state which labels itself as the Jewish state have both Muslim and Christian members of parliament who are indigenous to that land? It cannot support itself. And so when we talk about the West Bank, when we talk about Gaza, I'm not trying to patronize anybody, I'm sure you all know this. But when we talk about West Bank and talk about Gaza, we're not talking about pieces of land that are connected to each other. Jerusalem is not connected to Gaza. You have the West Bank on one side, you have Israel in the middle, and you have Gaza at the top. And then you have 7 million Palestinians worldwide scattered as refugees. You have Israel still occupying the Golan Heights in Syria. This is what happened. They created an entity. And what we are the reaction and we are the results of this creation, of this entity. How can we resist? How can we fight this entity? Why is this entity so successful in controlling so much? And the truth lies in the United States. Of course, it lies first and foremost in this country. One thing I noticed as somebody who has traveled to the West Bank, traveled to Gaza, traveled to Lebanon, when you meet Palestinians and you say that you are from Britain, the first thing that comes to their mind is the Balfour Declaration. When the British promised the American Zionist movement Palestine to the Zionists. They remember this. They remember the Balfour Declaration, which was signed in our Houses of Parliament. And so this is why, as people with British passports, British citizenship, we have so much more power than we even know. So much power. We can travel freely to this place. We have the freedom to travel. We have the freedom to bear witness, to see it. Not only do we have the freedom of our taxes and the products we buy, how can we resist? Every single person in this room can do 1 million different things to resist this on the basis of humanity. On the basis of humanity, we have the opportunity to resist Zionism and the movement of Zionism every single day. Now, when they talk about what they're doing in Gaza, it's a siege. Basic amenities are not being allowed in. People are going without simple things. They are having their entire existence dictated to them by a foreign power. Largely people who have already been driven from their homes and already been driven from their lands are in Gaza. Then on the West Bank, what you have is you have nearly 500,000 completely illegal Jewish settlers. You can't even call them Israeli because they don't actually have citizenship to Israel. These are people who go and settle on the West Bank and live there, completely illegally, with the full backing of the Israeli government, and despite the rhetoric that you hear coming from the Obama administration, with the full support of the American administration. These settlers are settling in the West Bank, completely illegally. What Jody was talking about earlier happens every single day in Jerusalem. People being kicked out of their homes for American and British citizens to move in. It's not that complicated, and it's wrong. On any basis. Doesn't matter about the words Christian, Muslim, Jew, Arab, English, American. Just the basic idea of it is wrong. It's wrong. And we shouldn't be ashamed or scared to say it's wrong. We shouldn't be worried about saying it's wrong. We shouldn't accept the status quo just because it's there. We shouldn't accept their narrative of the situation. And we shouldn't allow ourselves to play into that narrative and to continue feeding this. Why? Why are we doing this? We have more power than we actually realize and we actually know. And so, one more thing I wanted to say, just to basically demonstrate how a blatant sign of the inequality which Zionism is. For you to claim Israeli citizenship, under Israeli law, there's something called the grandfather clause. All it takes for you to claim Israeli citizenship is if you can prove that you have one Jewish grandparent. You don't have to be Jewish, you have one Jewish grandparent. And you are eligible to have Israeli citizenship. Now that, when you compare to the fact that there are people who have lived in Jerusalem their whole lives, whose parents have lived in Jerusalem their whole life, whose grandparents have lived in Jerusalem their whole life, whose great-grandparents have lived in Jerusalem their whole life, whose great-great-grandparents lived in Jerusalem their whole life. This is wrong. It's not complicated. It's wrong. A person that just happens to have a Jewish grandparent from what are they doing in Jerusalem? Whereas the people that have lived in Jerusalem since as far back as they can see, why should they leave their houses? Why? I mean, it's not complicated, it's not radical, and it's not strange for us to think that's wrong. We shouldn't be alienated, because those that can actually see the picture for what it is are the most sane people that you're talking about in this situation. One thing, as somebody that's actually been inside Israel, before I got to the West Bank, I was inside Israel. There's this systemic drive it's institutionalized to morally justify murder. So when you're looking into the eyes of IDF soldiers, while, like the brother said before, they are cowards, because these people are generally very 16, 17, 18, who literally have come from another country, been given a gun, and told, well, control these people's destiny. Be in control of these people. People are giving birth at checkpoints, because an 18-year-old with a gun from Finchley is telling them they have to sit there and give birth to a child. Is this situation not insane to you? It's insane to me. But the key is that within Zionism, there had to be a drive to morally justify the murder of other people. The murder, the displacement, the humiliation. And it's strange. It's strange to look in the eye of someone that you know could morally justify your murder. And so that's what I mean by nothing is more anti-Semitic than Zionism. You have to understand that the victims of Zionism are Semites themselves. So that is where that line itself comes from. One thing that is quite interesting about the makeup of this country and how different people's interests serve different things is when the massacre on the flotilla happened and people were demonstrating all over the UK. In the counter-demonstrations, there was a group which united with the Zionists called the EDL. This group went out of their way to say, okay, we have a common cause. We relate to you, and we stand on the same side, the EDL. So what I want you guys to do me a favor with this next little number we're gonna do, I want you lot to do me a favor. When I say no, no, I want you guys to say, we don't want them. Are you with me? No, no. We don't want them. No, no. We don't want them. No, no. We don't want them. We don't want them. We don't want them. No, no. We don't want them. No, no. We don't want them. No, no. We don't want them. We don't want them. We don't want them. Okay, drop the beat. And we shouldn't ever feel scared to let our voices be heard. Why? Put your fists up, now 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 put your fists up. Listen. No, no. We don't want them. No, no. We don't want them. No, no. We don't want them. We don't want them. We don't want them. No, no. We don't want them. No, no. We don't want them. No, no. We don't want them. We don't want them. We don't want them. Look at my face, I want everything that you hate. half this, half that, born in the